Well, hi everyone. I'm a psychologist, and I'm going to tell you a bit about mental health. Well, not this way, this way. Anyway, I guess that this is for you and only for you, and I'm not going to give you any cheap tricks like that you do in the morning, like 5 push-ups, and then you're going to be mentally well like Donald Trump. But even though I have like 5 minutes, I'm going to try to divide it into 2 parts. So first, I'm going to tell you a bit about change in psychotherapy and psychology that we can basically adjust to our everyday lives. And then I'm going to give you some tricks how we can go about it. So firstly, when we look at psychotherapy and change in general in our life, we go about change basically in 3 ways. One of them is through our cognition, through our thinking. So when we learn some new information, we basically can achieve some new insights and learn new information and basically make some changes in our life. Basically, cognitive behavior therapy does that, also coaching does that, and all the things when we learn something new and then we implement it into our life. Then we have here behavior. How we go about behavior in here is that we make some changes, basically. We learn some new habits. Also, it's done by cognitive behavior therapy, also coaching, but also it can be done through some self-expertise, meaning that basically instead of drinking 2 shots of vodka in the morning, we're going to drink tea and do 5 minutes meditation. And through these new habits, we can make some changes in our life. The last thing in here is through our emotions, through our experiencing, through living new things in our life, and through getting in touch with our emotions, with our angriness, with our bitterness, with our joy, with our love, etc., which might be a bit for us forbidden in a sense because of the Western culture that we live in. You know, I guess for few people it is quite scary to show our emotions and be fragile in this sense. On the other hand, you know, emotions are not catastrophic, and psychotherapies like Gestalt therapy or person-centered approach really deal with these. Well, then we can also add to that our body. We can make change through experiences within our body. In this case, we can call about biosynthesis, biodynamics, and other approaches, and we can do the change through certain exercises and through human touch in this case. Well, I would say that we can also bring the change into our life through nature, through sensations, through going into nature, being immersed to it, etc., and we can definitely talk about this later on. Then there are 3 things how we can work with our resources, with our capital in this sense, and first of them is accumulating positive emotions, which is in short term, which it means it's quite easy, even though it might not be so readable, but here's like also almost 300 points that you can do in your life that bring you some positive emotions. It can be joy, it can be happiness, anything you really want to think about. And the thing is that when we experience these positive emotions, there is no room for these emotions which can be a bit painful, which can be a bit difficult for us to cope with. So this is one of the sources. The good thing in this is to try new things, is to basically experiment and expand our things. Even though, you know, we might like investing in funds, then we can try to play tennis. We can just then to go out with friends and really try new things that bring us joy, etc. Well, the other thing is values. Well, this compass is from Pirates of Caribbean, and values basically, even though they are abstract, they show us direction. They show us where we should go. So, for example, if we set value which is important for us, like education, then what we may do, we can set certain goals which will lead us to this value, which can be like I'm going to read 2 books monthly, and then every day I'm going to be reading few pages. Well, last thing that can help us is like building mastery. It's basically when we find our hobby and when we set certain goals. Well, if I'm going to play guitar and I say, well, I'm going to play a live concert at Wembley, it's going to be too high, so I'm going to be really anxious about this goal. Well, on the other hand, when I'm just going to be playing only at home alone, I'm not going to really improve, I'm not going to be really motivated. So then I can set the goal that I'm going to be playing with friends by fire and, you know, singing songs and learning something new. So this is basically what those sources, what those positive emotions can bring us, because then we are less fragile to negative emotions, basically, to what's going on. And I would say, and I would argue that with nature and reflection, we would go for healthier relationships and better life. So thank you for that. 5 minutes up. And